Hi everyone, number one Marmaduke fan here. Summa Trigorum, Summa Spoilerum, Summa Tangentum. This is one of my 50-cent books, and this was a surprise recommend for me. I enjoyed myself. I hate the zombie genre, but I enjoyed this number one enough that I'm probably going to go try to find the other ones to see how the story concludes. So this is Zombie Tales Death Valley number one from way back in 2005. There are some antique cell phones in this one. And Zombie Tales seems to just be exactly that. It's sort of a mixed bag of different people doing one shots or their own story with zombies. And they publish different artists, different writers. I saw one with Mark Waid's name on the cover. So it's a genre thing rather than a consistent cast of characters like The Walking Dead. So this one, Death Valley. What I like about this one is I've talked in the past about stories that I think can't decide what they want to be. Are you just a joke and nothing matters and I should laugh when these characters die? Or are you a serious drama and either committing to the bit of one or the other? You know, treat your characters as a joke so it doesn't matter when they die, or treat your story as having impact. But if you try to float in the middle, you might fail at both ends. I can't tell whether I'm supposed to laugh at these characters dying or be invested in them dying. Zombie Tales is an interesting exception in that it has this sort of campy sense of humor in, oh, it's zombies. You know, they're going to waddle after you and they're going to eat someone. It's a silly zombie story. Don't take it too seriously, but also paying enough attention to the characters to make it impactful if one of them dies. And it doesn't have to be like Faulkner or anything. It just pays enough attention to them as human beings. So I don't feel like I'm reading a snuff film where the appeal is watching people getting eaten by zombies. Let's get the artist. So story by Andrew Cosby, written by Johanna Stokes, pencils and inks by Roald Marcellus of Imaginary Friends Studios. And what I'll say about Roald is Roald has a cartoon style that reminds me of the Hercules movie, even kind of like getting that spiral effect on their joints. And he gets, line width, so thicker lines up in the front, thinner lines in the back. And he gets a consistently fun, cartoony, kind of grungy cartoon look that works really well throughout this book. The characters are sort of generic, but fun. So Sam is sort of, your cute, the cute girl from high school type of character is the main girl character. I like this bit of the panel becoming a gun as she fires the gun. They don't do too much crazy experimental stuff, but they use panels in an interesting way to just kind of make the whole page visually interesting. So it starts sort of establishing her relationship with her dad, who's kind of a brusque military guy. It's a loving relationship. He tells her, I love you, before he leaves to go to work. But you can tell it's sort of a cool relationship where she's bucking his authority a little bit, and he doesn't really know how to cope with a angsty teenager. And since it's a zombie story, I can already tell that, father's life lessons, taking her to the gun range are going to come in handy for the zombie apocalypse. And I kind of like the morality of this, that the father has a kind of, tough, no nonsense worldview that he's trying to instill his daughter with. His daughter's trying to be independent, be her own person. But you can tell just from the fact that this is a zombie book that her father's worldview is going to be useful to her in surviving the coming zombie apocalypse. And, she drives, Friday, she drives to school with the cute girls, and they talk about their plans to disobey dad and go to the concert. And we start meeting our cast of characters. And you can already tell that some of these fit into sort of the generic, zombie movie stereotypes where you can tell that these people are going to get killed by the zombies. So Travis, Derek, and Shaggy. This helped me a lot. So it's Shaggy, like from Scooby-Doo. They're relying on sort of iconic cartoons to make this a little bit more whimsical. Spoiler alert, Summa Spoilerum, Summa Tangentum, Summa Trigorum. Some of the characters die in this zombie book. And since I'm going to be showing you the art, you'll probably have all the deaths spoiled for you. This is a recommend. If you can find this, even online or in your comic book shop's 50-cent bin, pick this up, because this was, for 50 cents, this was a blast. What I was going to say is by, having some cutesiness about it, it makes it possible for them to have both worlds. They can get me interested in the characters as human beings. They can kill off a couple of the secondary characters, and it actually kind of plays off as not that gruesome or impactful, because they have some fun with the characters a little bit, but they're still humanizing these characters, so it doesn't feel like I'm just enjoying watching kids getting torn apart by zombies. So the nerdy kid has an idea that this solar flare is unprecedented in history. I like that she's kind of into the smart kids, so she's attracted to intelligence. And there are actually some really primal themes in this, that her blonde friend, as soon as bleep hits the fan, she becomes attracted to the big football player jock, and she explicitly says it's because he's the alpha male, and it's like something instinctive kicks in that she wants to be with the alpha. So there's this sort of these primal ideas of romance, I guess, where it's not that romantic, it's just kind of high schoolers in puppy love, but it makes sense. They look for attractive qualities in the people they're interested in. So dad's investigating the solar flares, and the kids are going to have a party in the bomb shelter and get stuck there. And kind of an interesting twist on the zombie thing. The zombies are created by this great solar flare in Death Valley that sort of fries their brain and fries their skin. So they're all like extremely sunburned. The kids get stuck underground. There's some like, what would I describe this as? It's that same sort of grungy cartoon look where it's kind of comedic and over the top in his expression, but also kind of dynamic. So I'm simultaneously kind of chuckling, oh, that's kind of a silly face, and enjoying myself. There's this, rush of the fear of realization that zombies are coming. Oh no. And then they take, it's a slow buildup before the zombies show up, but they sort of take their time to establish, each of these people have a family. They have siblings. They talk about, their mom and their dad and missing them. And it's just enough to make you feel like these are real kids. So I'll just, since I'm not a big zombie fan, this is kind of new to me, so I'll just talk about this. So this is when this girl talks about, wanting to be with the quarterback because there's something instinctive that she wanted to be with the alpha male. And then of course they kill him off right away. So that's kind of a good way of establishing the threat of these zombies, that I don't want to show that they kill off the biggest, toughest one right away. It establishes a good sense of danger. And then we're down to pretty much they lessen the impact by pretty much making Derek look like sort of just a goofy, douchey jock. And we're down to the characters that we kind of care about. They escape from the zombies in the bomb shelter, and they do some cool survival stuff. I'm just going to recommend this. So I really enjoyed it. No more book time with Uncle Marmaduke. Yeah, I just go get this. There are going to be deaths because it's a zombie book. It's fun. It's sort of a grungy cartoon style. I am perfectly happy with my purchase, and I want to get more of Zombie Tales Death Valley. I guess the only thing to watch out for is, since they do a whole bunch of Zombie Tales, make sure it's the Death Valley one, or you'll come looking for this and you'll get some different zombie tale with your purchase. I'm number one Marmaduke fan. This was a surprise, excellent find from the 50-cent bin. I love you, and I'll catch you later.